Hey, what's up, everybody? Coming to you with another video here on what I would call my favorite rifles. And this is probably my favorite rifle right here. This is the Springfield Armory M1A Supermatch. And this has been just a joy to own and shoot. First rifle I've ever taken out to 1,000 yards, and frankly did it kind of easily. And again, I don't have much experience at 1,000 yards. But I have gone out probably 3 times, and I took a bolt action rifle, Remington 700, thinking that I took both of these rifles, this one and Remington 700, thinking that hey, if I'm lucky, I'll get a chance to get this one to hit, and the bolt action certainly will do it. And it was actually the opposite. Never got that bolt action to hit. So talk about frustration. This is 308. Both were 308, I should say. This is 308. And I've owned this for probably, 10 years now or so. And I guess they don't even make the Supermatch anymore. And I know you can get match rifles from like Fulton Armory. But at the time, I went with Springfield Armory, which, I know somewhat controversial in the M1A world about how good Springfield Armory really is. Mine, I've had my first M1A was a loaded model. And frankly, it was a great rifle. I purchased the loaded about the same time. I also picked up a Scar 17, and what my plan was, once I got the Scar, I was going to sell the M1A, and I ended up selling both and funding this rifle, and it's been fantastic. So you've got a Springfield Armory Supermatch heavy Krieger barrel. It's got the McMillan stock with, I think they call it the sniper fill. The stock is just crazy heavy and dense. This is a very, very heavy rifle. And right now it's got a Smith mount on it, Smith Enterprises mount. It's got a Night Force NXS with Night Force rings. And other than that, it's got a Schuster adjustable gas plug. That's pretty much it, though. The rest is stock the way I got it. Accutech bipod, or excuse me, Versapod mount on the front of the rifle with an Atlas bipod on it. And this one, again, I use a Spec War 7.62 on my 308 rifles. And this one, again, has just been fantastic. So obviously the weight plays into the, very little recoil. And, you just, I was seeing and still am seeing, bolt action rifle accuracy with this. And again, comparing it to my Remington 700. And again, I know, there are far higher end bolt action rifles than what I currently have. But, I think traditionally bolt action rifles shoot very well. And this rifle here shoots every bit as good or better, frankly, than my bolt action rifle does. And again, took this out to Thunder Valley in Ohio, and took it out to 1,000 yards. Thought it was a pretty interesting story. Was basically just throwing ammo down range, and we weren't really hitting anything. Again, we're all pretty inexperienced. I shoot 100 yard range, and first time ever going past 100 yards was really out to 1,000, and so expectations were pretty low. And when we got out there, we tried to kind of take it, 200, 300, 400, 500 out to, kind of continue increasing our range. And then once we got past 700, it was like just disappearing. We couldn't see anything. And the owner kind of came by, and, I'm just a bench rest weekend shooter. And I think the owner of that place is a legit, this guy's hardcore. And, he didn't even look through the rifle. He told me to make a couple adjustments, poop, poop, poop. And then all of a sudden we were hitting at 1,000 yards. It was the wildest thing I've ever seen. And shooting 308 at 1,000 yards, kind of like, it was like lobbing a football, and just a great experience. And again, what a surprise that this was the rifle that we did it with. Kind of as an aside, we did have a 6.5 Creedmoor bolt action rifle with us, and totally get that round. I mean, that, I think we hit probably with this rifle maybe 3 out of 10, And then with the 6.5 Creedmoor bolt gun, it was probably like 7 or 8 out of 10. I mean, that was like a laser beam. But again, just shocked at how good this rifle was at distance. Just not something I was expecting. And, very much, again, we'll never part with this rifle. And the setup currently is just about exactly spot on. This Night Force is a great scope, most expensive scope I've ever purchased and probably will ever purchase. And I'm sure I could have achieved this with a lower end scope, but I will say, I mean, this is everything people talk about with Night Force, the glass quality, just the clicks, the positive clicks it has. I mean, it's just a fantastic scope. And paired with this rifle, just couldn't be happier. And again, this is a hilariously heavy rifle, so it's not meant to really be carried around. But again, if you're a bench rest shooter like I am, man, it just doesn't get much better than this. So fantastic rifle, and no issues. I think when you're dealing with these Supermatch kind of rifles, I think you're really not supposed to take them out of the chassis or of the stock very often. And I've tried not to do that, but still, the rifle's been I've never had any issues with it. The Schuster gas plug, once you get it adjusted, it was kind of set it and forget it. My other M1A, I ended up using a adjustable valve, or not adjustable, well, it is adjustable. You can either kind of turn it to factory setting, or you can put it to basically turning the gas system much farther down instead of using the Schuster. And I'll be honest with you, I think to do it over again, I prefer the gas valve versus the gas plug for suppressing an M1A. Both obviously very easy to install, but you kind of just turn that valve when you want to shoot suppressed on the other rifle, and it works great. Again, this works fine too, but you do have to spend a little bit of time, tweaking this plug to get it to cycle just right. But again, that was 10 years ago. I've never messed with it since. And again, this runs flawless. I shoot through this rifle 168 grain gold medal match from Federal, and I've really never played around with too many other. I did play around with like 175 grain, and I definitely, the groups opened up. So for whatever reason, this rifle loves 168 grain, and so pretty much that's all I've ever put through it. So fantastic rifle. Again, I didn't start to be an M1A person when I started this thing. In fact, again, when I got the SCAR, I thought, man, I'm done, and kind of turned out to be the opposite. So turned into an M1A fan, and I'm not jumping into Fallujah. If I was, I probably would choose a different rifle. But at the local gun range, the M1A has been fantastic. So anyway, great rifle, and that's all. I'll catch you on the next one.